And now let's talk about 10 seconds. It doesn't sound like a long enough duration, but a lot can happen in 10 seconds. Usain Bolt can win the 100-meter race at Olympics. It will take him exactly 9.58 seconds to win the gold medal. An average pro can solve the Rubik's Cube. People have done it in far lesser time and broken world records. But why am I telling you about this? Only to reiterate that 10 seconds is a long enough duration and it can change lives. It is also a sufficient time to grope someone, to sexually harass them. And for those who are assaulted in merely 10 seconds, it could feel like an eternity has passed. Italy agrees with this sentiment, and as we speak, it is outraged because their court feels otherwise. Last week, a 17-year-old girl testified in court. Last year, she was climbing a staircase in her school in Rome. That's when she felt someone put his hand inside her pants. He groped her from behind. Before lifting her up in the air, she turned around to see the perpetrator. She walked away. The man chased her. He said he was only joking. The physical contact lasted between 5 and 10 seconds. Do you know who the accused was? A 66-year-old janitor in her school. The young girl took him to court over this. She accused him of harassment. The judges believed the student, but they acquitted the accused. The court found him not guilty of groping the student. Do you know why? Because the judges said the incident lasted just about 10 seconds. So it was too fleeting to be considered a crime. Plus his actions were simply meant to be a quote-unquote clumsy joke. So for these judges, this was a brief comic interaction. Even saying this feels appalling. So it's obvious why people are fuming over this court ruling. Not just Italians, but the world over, people are angry. And this has sparked a viral trend on social media. People are posting videos of themselves, where a stopwatch runs for 10 seconds as they look into the camera and touch a sensitive part of their body, to show just how long and uncomfortable such an experience can be. Because groping someone in an institution that is supposed to protect children is not funny. And to acquit someone on the basis of their timing is unacceptable, but this is not the first such incident or the first such judgment. Italian judges have passed similar problematic rulings in the past. In 2017, for instance, a judge cleared 2 men of rape. They said the victim was too masculine looking to be a target of attraction. In another case, a judge acquitted a man of sexual assault because a woman did not scream during the attack. In 2016, a court in Sicily ruled that a man was not guilty because he groped female colleagues out of humor. Is it just us who are tone deaf to this supposed humor? Or is it the judges? Seriously, what are they thinking? Is this the Wild West, where apparently sexual assault is not good enough to deserve conviction? And let me tell you this is a problem the world over. Let me show you some government data. In 2018, only 0.7% rapes in the US ended with conviction for the perpetrator. In 2020, the same happened for only 39% of rapes in India. In 2021, only 1.3% rape cases in the UK were prosecuted. Crimes against women have always been difficult to prove. But victims face a tougher battle in court. The shocking lack of sensitivity. In 2013, a 14-year-old girl's rapist was acquitted in India because she did not, quote-unquote, fight like a wild animal. Now, judges are not robots. They don't just operate devoid of opinion or emotion. But when their opinion is so controversial, why does it not get them in hot water? Maybe because victim blaming is deep-rooted in some societies. Despite legislative reform, rape myths and stereotypes drive decision-making, and this affects how people think, how judges think. So sometimes their opinion is not just uncalled for, it is downright humiliating. Like in 2014, when a Canadian judge asked a woman in a rape case why she couldn't, quote-unquote, keep her legs together. This is what a judge said. Such opinions can change the course of a victim's life. Globally, about 1 in 3 women have been subjected to sexual violence, yet the consequences overwhelmingly fall on the victims. Study after study says so. 33 to 65% women who have been assaulted develop PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. 82% develop anxiety. Between 13 and 51% become depressed, and 2 to 19% attempt suicide. Who is looking out for these victims? One doesn't blame a victim for provoking their murder. One looks at the evidence. So why is that not the case for victims of sexual assault? Misogyny does not even begin to explain what's happening in our courts. It seems like sexual assault has become the easiest of crimes.